For decades, Sally Field and Robin Williams shared a bond that was admired by millions, yet few truly understood its depth. The two were not just colleagues, they were confidants, kindred spirits, navigating the unpredictable world of Hollywood, with its relentless spotlight, pressures, and hidden struggles. And now, at 79, Sally Field has finally spoken out, revealing a side of Robin Williams that the world never saw. In an exclusive revelation, Field describes Williams not just as the comedian who could make anyone laugh, but as a deeply empathetic, sensitive, and private individual. She recalls the moments behind the cameras and outside the red carpets, the candid conversations, the personal challenges he faced, and the struggles that haunted him despite his public persona of endless energy and joy. Robin could light up a room in an instant, Field recalls, her voice tinged with both warmth and sorrow. But behind that laughter, there were times he carried a weight that no one could see. Not even those closest to him. According to Field, Williams's humor was often a shield, a way to navigate a world that demanded constant performance. She reveals the heartache, the late-night talks, and the moments when he sought comfort and understanding from those he trusted most. Through her words, the public gains a rare glimpse into the vulnerabilities of a man who brought joy to millions while quietly battling his own demons. What makes Field's revelations even more powerful is her perspective. Decades of experience in the entertainment industry, a lifelong witness to the highs and lows of fame. She paints a portrait of Williams that is at once heartbreaking and inspiring. A genius of comedy who understood the fragility of life, friendship, and love. For fans, these revelations are more than just stories. They are an opportunity to honor the complexity, brilliance, and humanity of Robin Williams. Field's words remind the world that behind every smile and every joke, there is a story waiting to be told, and sometimes it takes decades before the truth finally comes to light. Hollywood is full of legends, but few have touched lives as profoundly as Robin Williams. From his explosive energy on stage to the tender vulnerability in his dramatic roles, he was a man who could make millions laugh and cry within the same performance. Yet behind the spotlight, behind the fame and the endless applause, Williams carried a private life that few ever glimpsed. For decades, those who worked closest with him, friends, colleagues, and confidants, knew fragments of the truth. But now, at 79, Sally Field has finally shared her perspective, revealing the side of Robin Williams that the world rarely saw. Field and Williams were more than co-stars. They were companions, navigating the highs and lows of Hollywood together. Their connection was built not on shared scripts or staged scenes, but on genuine understanding and mutual trust. Robin had a way of seeing the world that was completely his own, Field recalls. He could make anyone laugh, but he also made you see the truth behind the laughter. The story begins in the early 1980s, when both were at pivotal points in their careers. Field, already an Oscar-winning actress, had a reputation for her grace and talent, while Williams, at the dawn of his film stardom, was rapidly becoming a household name. Their paths crossed frequently, and what started as professional respect soon evolved into a profound, personal connection. Long after cameras stopped rolling, they would meet, talk, and share moments that were unseen by the public eye. Field's recollections are filled with vivid memories, late-night conversations over coffee, moments of shared laughter that could dissolve the stress of Hollywood, and, more poignantly, times when Robin confided in her about the shadows he faced behind his brilliant humor. He loved making people happy, she explains, but sometimes that very thing was exhausting for him. The laughter, it was beautiful, but it also hid a lot of pain. She recounts evenings where they would sit quietly, away from the cameras and spotlights, discussing life, family, and the challenges of fame. Williams, despite his comedic genius, was not immune to the pressures of the industry. Field describes how he would occasionally retreat into himself, reflecting on personal struggles and battles with anxiety and depression, things the public would never see. Yet in those moments, she saw a side of him that was courageous and deeply human. Someone determined to live authentically, even if it meant keeping much of himself hidden from the world. One of the most striking revelations Field shares is the duality of Robin Williams' life. On screen, he was spontaneous, unpredictable, and brilliant. his energy electrifying audiences everywhere. Off-screen, he was contemplative, caring, and immensely loyal to those he trusted. He carried a depth that few recognized, a quiet understanding of life's fragility and the importance of genuine human connection. Field emphasizes that her perspective is not just about Robin Williams the entertainer, but Robin Williams the man, the friend, the confidant, the soul navigating a complex world. People remember the laughter, she says, but they don't always see the heart behind it. I want them to see that too. As she shares these memories, a broader picture emerges, a story of friendship, empathy, and the silent battles that often accompany brilliance. For the first time, the public is invited to step behind the curtain, to witness the private moments that shaped a man who gave so much to the world while quietly wrestling with his own pain. By the end of her reflections, it becomes clear. Robin Williams' legacy is not confined to laughter and applause. It encompasses the quiet moments of struggle and connection, the bonds he forged with those who truly understood him, and the depth of a soul that touched countless lives in ways both seen and unseen. Sally Field's revelations offer a rare, intimate portrait, one that enriches our understanding of the man behind the legend and invites the world to remember him in all his complexity. For the world, Robin Williams was laughter incarnate, a whirlwind of energy, improvisation, and joy. Yet those closest to him knew there was always more beneath the surface. Sally Field, one of Hollywood's most respected and empathetic actresses, had a front-row seat to the duality of Robin's life. At 79, she has finally opened up about the man behind the public persona, revealing the private moments that few ever saw. Field recalls the first time she truly understood the depth of Robin's genius and his struggles. It wasn't on a stage or in front of cameras, she explains. It was in a small, quiet room, just the two of us talking. He could make anyone laugh, but in that moment, he showed me the part of himself that he never shared publicly. One memory stands out vividly. During a break on a film set, Robin confided in Sally about the pressure he felt to be perpetually funny. He told me that sometimes he'd go home after performing and feel utterly exhausted. Not physically, but emotionally, Field says. He was carrying the weight of making people happy, and sometimes it felt impossible. She pauses, reflecting on how extraordinary it was that someone so talented could also feel such deep vulnerability. According to Field, Robin's humor was both a gift and a shield. He used it to connect with the world, but it also masked the anxiety, sadness, and inner battles that he faced in private. There were evenings when he would retreat from the limelight to simply exist, to talk openly with her about his fears, his doubts, and the moments of loneliness that accompanied fame. Field describes these as times of raw honesty, when the man behind the laughter revealed his heart. She also shares stories of Robin's generosity, something the public rarely knew. From mentoring young actors to quietly supporting charitable causes, he gave without seeking recognition. He wanted to help people, Field recalls, but he didn't want the spotlight on it. It wasn't about being seen. It was about doing what was right. These acts of kindness, often hidden from public view, reveal a side of Williams that is as inspiring as it is humbling. But Field doesn't shy away from discussing the struggles that ultimately haunted him. She talks candidly about his battles with depression, the nights when laughter seemed far away, and the moments when he confided that he sometimes felt trapped by expectations. He was brilliant, yes, but he was human too, Field emphasizes. That's what people forget. Even someone who can make the world laugh can hurt deeply inside. Through these reflections, a broader picture emerges. Robin Williams was not just a performer, but a man grappling with the complexities of life while giving his all to others. His creativity, spontaneity, and empathy were intertwined with vulnerability, making him both extraordinary and relatable. Sally Field's insights remind the world that genius and struggle often coexist, and that the laughter he gave was both a gift to others and a way of navigating his own inner landscape. By sharing these stories, Field gives the public a rare intimate portrait. We see Robin Williams not only as the icon who brought joy to millions, but as a friend, a confidant, and a deeply sensitive soul. The laughter remains, of course, but it is now layered with understanding. Each joke, each performance, each improv moment carries a resonance that only comes from knowing the full humanity behind it. In the end, Field's reflections underscore the paradox of Robin Williams' life. A man whose humor could light up the world while quietly carrying a profound emotional depth. For those who loved him, and for the millions who admired him from afar, her revelations offer a bittersweet insight. The laughter he gave was genuine, but so too were the struggles he endured. And now finally, the world can see the man behind the smile. Sally Field's memories of Robin Williams go far beyond the laughter, the improvisation, and the iconic roles. At 79, she has begun to paint a portrait of a man whose genius was inseparable from his vulnerability, in a man whose private battles were often hidden behind the brilliance of his performances. Field recalls a moment on the set of a film in the late 1980s that still haunts her. It was a quiet evening, long after the cameras had stopped rolling. Robin had been performing with his usual energy, keeping the crew in stitches, improvising lines that seemed effortless. But when the laughter faded, he sat alone, visibly drained. Field approached him, sensing a depth of emotion that no one else could see. "He looked at me," she says softly, "and I realized he was carrying more than the day's work. There was a weight there, one that his humor could never fully lift." Robin confided that his comedy was both a gift and a shield. Every laugh he inspired came at a cost, an invisible toll that few could understand. In that quiet moment, Sally saw not the performer, but the human being, the friend, the soul who bore burdens in silence while bringing joy to the world. She also recalls nights of long, intimate conversations, where Robin spoke candidly about his fears, his anxieties, and the loneliness that often accompanied fame. He could make everyone else feel lighter, but inside, he sometimes carried a darkness that was hard to bear, Field reflects. These were moments that showed a side of Robin Williams the public never saw. Someone deeply empathetic, sensitive, and aware of life's fragility. One story stands out among the rest. Robin had been struggling with a personal crisis, feeling the pressures of his career, the expectations of fans, and the relentless pace of Hollywood. He turned to Field for support, and in those hours, the comedian who had made millions laugh revealed his own vulnerabilities. He spoke of sleepless nights, doubts about his work, and the emotional toll of always needing to be on. Field recalls feeling a mixture of sorrow and admiration, sorrow for the pain he endured in silence, and admiration for the courage it took to continue bringing laughter to the world despite it. Field also emphasizes Robin's immense generosity of spirit. Beyond the cameras, he supported friends, mentored younger actors, and quietly engaged in charitable acts, often without acknowledgement. He gave freely but discreetly, Field notes. That's who he was, always giving, even when he was struggling himself. This duality, joy-giver and quietly burdened soul, defined Robin Williams in ways few understood. Through her reflections, a broader truth emerges. Robin Williams's life was a delicate balance between public brilliance and private struggle. His humor was a lifeline, a way to connect with the world while shielding his own heart from the scrutiny and pressures of fame. Sally Field's stories illuminate the profound empathy he carried for others, the silent courage he showed in facing his own challenges, in the depth of his emotional intelligence. By sharing these intimate memories, Field allows the world to see Robin Williams in a new light. He is no longer just the entertainer whose laughter brought joy, but a human being of extraordinary complexity, someone who loved, struggled, and lived with profound depth. The laughter he gave was real, but so too was the pain he endured. And through Sally's eyes, the world can finally grasp the full spectrum of his humanity. As Field reflects, it becomes clear that Robin Williams' legacy is not only about comedy, but about compassion, courage, and the resilience of the human spirit. Behind the iconic performances and the laughter, there was a man who lived fully, felt deeply, and left a mark on the world that transcends fame. Through her memories, Sally Field ensures that this truth will finally be seen, appreciated, and remembered. When Sally Field began sharing her memories of Robin Williams, few could have anticipated the ripple effect it would have. For decades, the world had laughed with him, admired his boundless energy, and mourned his untimely passing. Yet much of the man, the depth, the vulnerability, the quiet courage, remained hidden. Now at 79, Field's reflections offer a profound, intimate portrait that reshapes the way we understand one of the most iconic figures in entertainment history. Hollywood insiders who had worked with Robin for years say Field's insights confirm what they had always suspected. Behind the energy and improvisation was a man of immense emotional complexity. The stories she shared about late-night conversations, private struggles, and his generosity of spirit illuminate a side of Robin Williams that had rarely been acknowledged. Inzali captured him perfectly, notes one director who asked to remain anonymous. She showed us the man beneath the legend, the heart, the fragility, and the brilliance coexisting in one person. For fans, the revelations are equally profound. Millions had grown up laughing at Robin's jokes, watching his films, and admiring his public persona. Now, through Field's stories, they gain a window into his humanity. They learn about the anxieties he carried, the personal battles he faced, and the quiet, selfless acts that defined his character. Social media and fan forums erupted with reflections. His admirers expressed gratitude for finally seeing the man behind the smile, the one whose laughter had touched their lives in ways they never fully understood. Field's accounts also underscore a critical truth about fame and mental health. Robin's genius was intertwined with his struggles, and understanding this duality humanizes him in ways that pure admiration of his talent cannot. Experts in mental health and entertainment psychology have noted that sharing stories like Field's helps break the stigma surrounding depression and anxiety, especially among performers who are expected to maintain constant energy and positivity. Robin Williams' story, now complemented by Sally Field's memories, becomes not just a tale of humor, but a lesson in empathy, awareness, and the importance of acknowledging the unseen battles people fight every day. Moreover, her revelations offer a new lens for historians and biographers. The personal anecdotes, private moments, and emotional insights she shared add depth and nuance to Robin Williams' legacy. No longer is he remembered solely for his comedic genius or his dramatic brilliance. He is now recognized as a man who navigated fame with courage, love, and profound emotional awareness. Sally Field's perspective invites future generations to study him not just as an entertainer, but as a human being whose experiences resonate far beyond the screen. Even within Hollywood, reactions have been emotional. Co-stars and collaborators who once only glimpsed parts of Robin's private life now feel a fuller understanding. Directors recall his generosity on set. Actors remember his encouragement, mentoring, and the rare moments when he let them see the vulnerability beneath the humor. Field's words have sparked conversations about the importance of friendship, trust, and human connection, reminding the entertainment industry that behind every icon is a person with joys, fears, and a deeply felt humanity. Ultimately, Sally Field's revelations ensure that Robin Williams' legacy is more complete than ever. His laughter, his improvisation, his unforgettable performances, these remain central to his story. But now, they are joined by the acknowledgement of his courage, his compassion, and his struggles. The world can appreciate not only the joy he brought, but also the complexity of the man who gave it, in the friendships that supported him along the way. Through her words, Sally Field has transformed the way Robin Williams is remembered. He is no longer just a symbol of comedy, nor merely a brilliant performer. He is a testament to resilience, empathy, and the beauty of human complexity. And in revealing the truth about her friend, Field ensures that his life, in all its brilliance and fragility, will inspire, move, and touch hearts for generations to come.